Welcome to the channel, The Tech Piano Player Kid.
A black background with white text that reads The Tech Piano Player Kid displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille. What is up, everyone? This is the Tech Piano Player Kid. And before I continue, if you like this soundtrack that you are hearing, please check down below in the description for more information. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic in the walkie-talkie world, or what they're also known as two-way radios. So I'll be saying radio a lot. In this case, I mean walkie-talkie. I do own a GMRS walkie-talkie, for those of you who have known, and you don't need to know if I own the license myself or if someone in my family has that license, because as long as someone in your family has purchased a GMRS license, it does cover the whole entire family, and anyone in your family can use it as long as they throw out the call sign. Anything after that is up to you or that person. Now for ham, each family member has to have their own ham license. So what would make a good radio accessible for blind and visually impaired users, whether they have a GMRS, ham, DMR, business, MERS, or a P25 radio accessible for blind and visually impaired users? Now, some of these may be obvious, but I have to bring them up anyway, because for those who are sighted and build radios may not think about putting those in there. So I have to mention them anyway. So the first one I have here is having a screen reader on the radio that makes it accessible for both blind and visually impaired users. Now, we know that some of these radios, like the Ocean KG935G, does have some speech on there to help you guide through the menus. But not all of the menu options are spoken, and it only tells you what that menu option is when you press the confirm or menu button on that option. And most other menu options are not spoken. Now, I don't use half of the menu options of the Ocean KG935G. So I just have to memorize which menu option is which. For example, option number 24 is Roger Beep. And within that menu option, you have 0 is off, 1 is beginning of transmission only, 2 is end of transmission only, and 3 is both. Now again, if you're blind and you don't really have anyone to help you with that, it'd be good to have something that would tell you where you are. In this case, a screen reader on the radio. And this brings me to the next option, having the ability to turn off the screen reader so sighted people can use it as well. So keep in mind that even though it may have a screen, which I think it should, that sighted people may want to buy this. And they want to use it because they've heard really good things about it, not just because it has a screen reader, but maybe because the wattage is really good to transmit, because it has, let's say, 5 to 10 watts, which I think that also should be in the radio for itself for 5 to 10 watts. And because if you want to have the option to turn the screen reader off, because you don't know, a sighted person could buy this radio. Not just because it has a screen reader, because they may not buy it for their blind son or daughter, but maybe because it has really good features on there. Or maybe they just want to test it out to see how it is just using it normally without the screen reader. Which brings me to the next feature, having a shortcut to turn off and on the screen reader. So let's say that your friend has a GMRS license, or his family has one and he uses their GMRS license because it covers the whole entire family. And he also has a radio, just like you. But he wants to turn that screen reader off because it drives him crazy and he doesn't want it blabbering back at him. So you could tell him, hey, just press this key or press these two keys for, let's say, 5 seconds, and it will turn it off. And it should be a key that is easy to memorize, but not easily to press. Let's say if you're walking and you bump it against it or something like that. The next feature that should be is all menu and sub-menu options are spoken. That kind of still said it at the beginning of this episode when I talked about that. But I have to say that because, there are people would be thinking, okay, well, the menus are all spoken, the sub-menu options should be fine. You'll have an idea where everything is. Well, no, because how would you know where you are in the menu and which option is selected? You don't. Next one, having the manual in Braille along with the print version. Now, this one may be a little bit difficult But there are companies out there who will help you to get this in Braille. So National Federation of the Blind, maybe American Printing House for the Blind, they could probably help you with that. Now I can already hear people saying, get a Braille display, or a Braille Note Touch Plus, or a Braille Note Apex, which Braille Note Apex is actually very outdated. But I have to say this, not everyone owns one of those. Those are expensive. If you guys want to know how expensive these are, it's pretty expensive. I'll just say that. You can look them up. Braille Note Touch Plus and a Braille display, like the Focus 40. And this is why I think there should be a Braille option and the print option together in the box. Now you can select it when you buy the radio and say, I'd like to have the Braille as well. And that will be automatically included in the print version. So the print version will already be in there, and then the Braille will be included after that, if you have that selected. Now, some people may think, well, download it from the website. Well, I say, well, most of them are PDF formats, and PDF does not work very well with a screen reader, from my experience. And there probably are pictures in there, and some of these PDFs, or most of them at least, are probably in a strange format and tables and stuff like this, and that doesn't work very well with a screen reader. The next feature to make a GMRS, ham, MERS, business, DMR, whatever kind of radio, is to have a shortcut key to check the battery status and an alert when the battery is running low. So you pick up your radio, you turn it on, and you check the battery status by pressing, let's say, one of the programmable buttons on the side, and it will tell you the battery status. And it will say, okay, it's 100%, or 5 out of 5 bars, or 8 of 8 bars, or 3 out of 5 bars. Once it gets to 20%, it will say battery low and make a little tone letting you know, hey, your battery's running low, you might want to charge it. And then once it gets to 15, it will say it again. And then once it gets to 5, it will say something like battery critical, please put it on the charger. The next one is also very important. Making the program software 100% accessible for screen readers on Mac and Windows. I'm going to read that again. Making the program software 100% accessible for screen readers on Mac and Windows. I can't stress enough how many times I have run into a program on the computer that has had some accessibility issues with a screen reader because the buttons were not clearly labeled, or it was a picture or something, and the screen reader would say graphical button or something like that. Now, Ocean, I have to pick on you for this one. And not saying that you're a bad company. I have to say, actually, your radios are very good. But your program software is not blind user-friendly. In fact, it's not user-friendly at all for blind people who use a screen reader. And I think it should be. Now, if you want some help with that, or if any company needs assistance on how to make something accessible, let me know. I'd be glad to give you some pointers and suggestions. And don't make it 75% accessible, or 80%, or 95%, or 9%, 100%. It has to be 100% accessible so blind people can use it independently, and that allows them to program the way they want it. And I say it's for both Mac and Windows because some people only have a Mac, some people only have a Windows. Well, you can't do one or the other. It has to be both, I think, because if someone only has a Mac, they may not know how to download a virtual machine and get one. Because most virtual machines you have to pay for, and people say, well, use Boot Camp. Well, hate to break it to you, but if you have the Mac 2020 version, it has the M1 chip. I'm not going to go into what that is, but essentially, my understanding is that you cannot use Boot Camp on there. So that's why I say for both. Apple's screen reader is VoiceOver, and Windows is NVDA, which stands for Non-Visual Desktop Access, and or JAWS, Job Access with Speech. Now, I think most people probably use NVDA, but I think it should be for both. And also maybe for the narrator screen reader, which I don't use very much, but make it compatible with all screen readers. Okay, the next one, having an additional audio recording on where the buttons are located on the radio. I had to have someone help me to know where the buttons were located on my Ocean KG935G radio because I had no clue which one was which. Now, you could call someone through Be My Eyes or Ira, but keep in mind that maybe some of these people have never heard of these apps, or maybe they just don't have access to it. Regardless, I think there should be an audio description that they can download from the website, and they can listen to it and understand where the buttons are located, and it will give a fully description. So it'll say something like, the down arrow button is located to the right of the menu button. And then the same thing with the menu button, it'll say it's to the left or to the right, whatever like that. And then up arrow or down arrow, which one comes first, then exit, then the number keypad, whichever one's to the right of that number keypad, and so on and so forth. And then on the left-hand side, are there any buttons like that? And then on the top, you have the knobs. And just give a description of which each button is which. And the last one I think would be good is when you plug in the radio into the charger, the radio will make a certain confirmation sound to let you know it's charging. Most radios, at least all of them I've noticed, have a light, I'm pretty sure, that shows it's charging. Well, for those who are blind or visually impaired, especially those who are blind can't see that. For those who are visually impaired, you may be able to see it, maybe. But it should make a sound at least to let you know, hey, it's charging, because what if the power strip is turned off, or what if it's somehow got unplugged and you can't tell? And the same thing goes when it's done charging. It will make a little sound again and say, charging complete. And then you can take it off the charger whenever you want. So if you guys have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments down below. You can also send them to info@TheTechPianoPlayerKid.com. You can also give me a call or text me at 913-312-1325. If you do not live in the United States, you can text me through WhatsApp with that same phone number. You can follow me on my social media, TheTechPianoPlayerKid, and Twitter, Tech_piano. All the links are down below in the description. And with that in mind, I'll see you all later in the next video. God bless you all, and peace. The Tech Piano Player Kid is out. Thank you for watching today's video. Please do not forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, please email info@thetechpianoplayerkid.com. Please also follow my Twitter at tech_piano. A black background with white text that reads "The Tech Piano Player Kid" displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille, then fades to black.